Hey, welcome back to the Inheritance Hub. I just wanted to talk about something for a quick minute. Nothing long, but right now, a lot of talk about are we in Satan's little season? The short answer is no. And I want to show you when you understand what's going on in the biblical text in this time period during the transitioning from the old covenant to the new covenant. We're dealing with a transitional generation. And now we all know our verses, right? Satan's bound, fill in the blanks. Then he gets loosed for a little season, people are calling it. I want to show you where that is. In Israel, in the covenant of sin and death, the law had become an adversary to Israel. And the authority over the covenant children of Israel were the Levitical priesthood. Moses had placed authority over the covenant children. He said, I will call heaven and earth to witness against you. This system of man, of flesh and blood, of works, of a law that you could not keep. If you broke one, you broke them all. This was adversarial. This kept people separate from the presence of the Lord. This system was the kingdom. Jesus had told them, I'm going to take the kingdom from the Jewish nation and I'm going to give it to a people who are not a people. So we know when Jesus shows up, we're going to be looking for the kingdom to change hands. And we know that happened if we know our Bibles when it says he transferred us out of the power of darkness into the kingdom of his beloved Son. So the kingdom's on the scene. People say, when was the millennial reign? Christ is reigning in his earthly ministry. In Mark 3, he'd given authority to his disciples to go out and rid demons from the land. He gets into a conflict with Pharisees and he lets them know, and they accuse him of operating for Beelzebub. And in that, we know he says, one doesn't plunder the strong man's house without first binding the strong man. This is him effectively saying the strong man has been bound. That covenant of law is now bound in the effect that Jesus is going around and without them performing sacrifice, without a priest, he's saying, go and sin no more. He's saying, what's easier to say? Your sins are forgiven, or pick up your bed and walk. All throughout, if we know what we're looking at, he's operating in dominion. And he just told them the only way, because a kingdom divided cannot stand, is that the other has been bound. So Satan is bound during Christ's earthly ministry. This is his reign. And when the apostles rule and reign alongside them, remember he had told them, you will sit on 12 thrones and judge the house of Israel. Okay, so in this season of transition, he calls them the brood of vipers. He refers to the temple as the synagogue of Satan. Okay, so picture when Titus's armies began to surround Jerusalem in 66 AD. The Christians, documented in history, in our history books, heeding the words of Christ in Luke 21, see the armies begin to compass Jerusalem, and it says, those that are in Judea, flee. Don't come down from the rooftops. Bad news if you're nursing or pregnant. Pray it's not on Saturday, but when you see the armies surround Jerusalem, effectively, the Great Commission is over. Revelation 22:11, he's saying, let them who are righteous be righteous, them who are unrighteous be unrighteous, let them who are filthy be filthy still, let them who are holy be holy still. The commission they had been given to go through all the cities of Israel and told that they wouldn't make it through all the cities of Israel before these things take place has now ended. And what that means is Christians, believers, Christianity, and the gospel message of the kingdom that had been binding the adversary during all that time have now fled Jerusalem. The restraint that the kingdom message had and the authority of the apostles ruling and reigning, governing, has now been removed. This leaves one thing. As Jerusalem is under siege, fear is mounting. You have the temple in Jerusalem that Jesus called the synagogue of Satan, or John in Revelation. And you have the priesthood. What we don't talk about in church is that at this time you have John of Giscala, who was a general of the zealot armies of Israel, who were waging war with the saints. He slew the legitimate priesthood. He set up other priests that were not of the Levitical order. He set himself up in the temple and declared himself Israel's Messiah that would save them from Rome. He burns the temple grains. He is going to prove that God or himself, on behalf of God, him being God, he is going to lead them to victory against Rome. This is the only thing the people now have to turn to, the old system, because the gospel kingdom is left. Satan, the adversary, the legal system that they had been under for 1400 years, that had been bound during Jesus' earthly ministry, has now been loosed for one last season, deceiving many. And it was the only thing to run to and to turn to. So when Titus's armies finally breach the walls and literally completely destroy Israel, Jerusalem, and they light the temple, which the Jews called heaven and earth, on fire, it goes up in a flood of fire. In the veils, the building is engulfed in flame. It burns down in a matter of hours. Later, the temple is taken apart brick by brick to retrieve the gold that was mortared between the bricks. At the moment that no stone is left unturned and the old system is completely removed, this ends the synagogue of Satan. So you do not live in Satan's little season. It was entirely removed from the face of the earth between 66 and 70 AD.